Welcome to Lineups and Lures. Join hosts Joe and Chris as they break down the biggest stories in professional and amateur sports and reel in the best fishing stories and tips. Whether it's game day strategy or the perfect catch, we've got you covered. Grab your gear and get ready. This is Lineups and Lures. Exciting week ahead of us. We got the Home Run Derby starting up tonight, followed by the All Star Game tomorrow. Are you still a big fan of the Home Run Derby?
Yeah, I still think it's fun, and I know they've tweaked with the actual mechanics of how you get there. On first glimpse at tonight's system, the fact that the guys just go out there and all hit, and the four with the most home runs move forward. I'm actually kind of a fan of that because I think it was sometimes two great guys got paired up together and then you lost one of them early. So I think having that format, in my opinion, I like it.
Yeah, I like the format too. I mean, you have 3 minutes or 40 pitches, so whichever comes first. So if you want to knock out those 40 pitches right away, if you want to take your time out, like all that kind of stuff, I think the format's better because, I mean, we talked about this a lot after that Home Run Derby in Seattle. I mean, it was almost unwatchable in person, because by the time the guy hit the baseball and you're like, oh, that's gone, let's see where that lands, the next ball's already being hit. So from a live perspective, it just wasn't that entertaining, to be honest. I want to see the guys hit. This format, you're going to see him hit.
Yeah, and I would actually like to see the time limit go away, because I think guys expand the zone, swing at pitches they may not normally swing at, and I don't think you get to see as many homers. I think I would like to see not a set number of pitches, a set number of swings. And maybe you put maybe you put a 5-minute limit on it so they can't be taking all day. But maybe you say, okay, everybody gets, 40 is the number this year. Let's start there. Let's try that. So the batter gets 40 swings. And as long as he completes that in 5 minutes, he's good. So he can take a pitch if you don't like it. I'd like to see that, because that way, they're not going to be, absolutely rapid firing through BP. So like you said, if you are live at the game, you can actually watch the ball go over the fence before the next one gets hit. And I also think that if they take a few, because, you got to remember, a lot of these guys are bringing in special guests to throw the pitches. And I think that's a great story. We saw that in Seattle. Obviously father-son duo, that's going to happen again tonight. And tonight it's actually father, son, and brother. Yes. So that to me is awesome. And those types of, stories, lineage, what a great campfire story right there. So I love to see that stuff on events like this, where it doesn't always need to be, it can be fun sometimes. These are grown men getting paid to play a game. So let's make it fun. I think it's a great story for the fans of the home team that the guys are representing. You personally were actually able to go and speak to the family last year up in Seattle. So that stuff's cool. And I think it's awesome. So I think there still could be a few tweaking, but at the end of the day, the All-Star Game is probably the last real, in all the professional sports, real games where they can still play baseball. Obviously the pitching is a little bit different, where everybody gets an inning and that type of deal. But at least those guys, they still got to get warm. They still got to get loose. And I would say most of them are coming out throwing at 95% at least of what they would normally throw in a real game. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Let's get back to the game in a minute, but back to the Home Run Derby. They had to change the format years ago because a guy would hit a ball out, take 4 pitches, hit a ball out, take 4 pitches. And it just took too long, and it kind of slowed the pace down. And then they went to that format where it was just rapid fire swings. And then that pace was too fast. So I think kind of what they're doing with 3 minutes, 40 pitches is good. I wouldn't mind seeing back to 3 minutes and 10 outs. I like the 10 outs. I think that puts pressure, because you're like, oh man, I'm on a timer, but I also know that I only get 10 swings. So I got to
10 outs.
10 outs. I got to make those outs count.
Well, and you and I are basically on the same page, where you're using outs to be your control, I'm using total number of pitches, which it kind of achieves the same goal. And, you know, we get to the same spot just in a different way. So I don't have a problem with an out system. I would loosen up the time a little bit. I mean, you got to remember, let's say they go to 4 minutes, 8 fours are 32. So that's half an hour. Let's assume that, you know, there's going to be some TV time and stuff in the middle. So let's assume the first round takes an hour. The whole thing's done in 2 hours. And I think that's about right.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect for ESPN. That's perfect for people in the stands. I think it's a good setup. So basically, there's eight hitters. The top 4 advance to semifinals, and then they do like a 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3 seed based on home runs. So let's start with who do you think your top 4 are going to be coming out of the top 8? So you got James Wood from the Nationals, Rooker from the Athletics.
So before we go to that, I do want to have a little bit of a bitch at Major League Baseball right now. Okay. These are not the best 8 home run hitters in Major League Baseball. It's not even close.
Wait, because the best dunkers participate in the slam dunk contest?
Well, if you don't have to tell me about not liking the NBA. I mean, we've had that conversation on air. But
the best players are participating in the Pro Bowl.
Well, once again, so this is an opportunity where I guess I don't get it. Now, there's a couple of different factors. I know that some of the veterans move out of the way because they've got paid their big money contracts, and some of these guys who are on rookie contracts haven't got paid. Maybe not all of them were big first-round draft picks that got their $5 million, $8 million, and maybe some of these guys are making league minimum at $600,000, $700,000, $800,000, which is not a bad living. But if you can go make $500,000, $1 million in the Derby, that kind of changes things for you a little bit when you're at that level of deal. So I guess I'm going to come out with this 2 ways. Either A, we should say we should do the home run derby on guys that are on their rookie contracts, or we should basically say, okay, let's do 2 home run derbies, a JV and a varsity level, because I want to see Aaron Judge hit a home run tonight, and that's not going to happen. I want to see Shohei hit, and that's not going to happen. There's a number of guys in the league that Pete Alonso is not swinging the bat tonight. These guys, people would pay a lot of money to see that.
I agree with you. I think having the top 8 home run hitters in baseball participate in the home run derby every year would be awesome. But at the same time, they're trying to give these guys a break. I mean, and it's also well documented that participating in the home run derby can alter your swing, mess with your results going into the second half. You know, you start rapid fire, maybe you pull something, you're looking to elevate a lot more lift into your swing, and all of a sudden you hit that second half of the season and you're struggling. So I can understand the Yankees not wanting Aaron Judge to participate. I can understand the Dodgers not wanting Shohei. But I think it would be pretty cool if it was just the top 8 home run hitters, and I would make it for the last 162 games. I think from July 1st or July 10th till this July 10th is the top 8 guys are participating in the home run derby. And then maybe, like you said, maybe you have a younger division for the up-and-coming guys. But I think this home run derby actually kind of has a little bit of a mix because, you know, outside of come on, James Wood is a rookie, but
yes,
Rooker's already signed an extension. I think Caminero might have signed an extension. If not, he's going to get one somewhere, probably not in Tampa. O'Neal Cruz has been around for a couple years. Byron Buxton is a veteran. Jazz Chisholm should not be in the home run derby, so we don't even need to talk about him. I hope he's out in the first round.
And Olsen was a last-minute fill-in for Acuna,
who's coming off of a massive knee surgery. So, like, if you're the Braves, do you really want him going out there and swinging out of his butt trying to hit home runs for 3 minutes?
Well, my point is there's still no Shohei. There's still no, there's a lot of guys on that list that, look, anyway, I mean, That's going to be a thing for a while. I don't think it's going to change. I mean, you bring up the does it affect your swing? I mean, you think about how many times I used to bellyache about going and playing in a scramble at a golf tournament where you basically try to take the driver and swing as hard as you can because you got three other guys in front of you in the fairway. And then the next time I went out and played, I was like spraying it everywhere. And I was like, why did I do this?
Yeah, but that's how you play golf anyway. Whether it's a scramble or not, you swing to hit the ball a country mile.
Not anymore, my friend. Let's just say I've had to throttle back.
Oh, the 3x3s are gone?
I've actually, what's funny is that if you actually hit the ball properly and swing about 80%, it goes nearly as far. So, at 45, not 25, it was time to not be in sixth gear and leave it in fifth. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
play smarter.
Back, and be able to walk the next day, which is the other key. It's great. The Derby is still awesome. I like what they're doing, and as much as we're going to nitpick, we're all still going to watch. So there you go.
So who are your top four you think advance to the semifinals?
Oh, okay. I'm gonna do this by elimination. So Chisholm, no. Olsen, probably no. Oh goodness! Now I'm just throwing dots. Chisholm, okay. Cal, yes. Cameron, Wood, Rooker. Okay, so Chisholm's out. Olsen's out. Yeah, let's go Buxton out. And I don't know. You got me at this point.
Yeah, I'm going to say Rooker out at that point. So I'm thinking it's going to be James Wood, Caminero, Cruz, and Cal. I think that's your top four.
So I think the reason that obviously I'm going to be a homer here. Does his ability to swing from both sides of the plate give him an advantage as guys get tired in the second and third round, where he can just literally turn around and swing it from the other side, a la a certain catcher from Baltimore a few years ago?
That's a good question. And the other thing that I didn't study up on this in advance is who hits more home runs in that park? Righties, lefties? Does the ball travel better to right field or left field? Like that plays into it too. Hard to say.
Well, and here's the other thing. I'm assuming Dad's a righty, which means he's probably going to start in the left-handed batter's box. Obviously, Dad's not going to turn around and throw with his left hand if he turns around, but I know it's batting practice, so it's not the same deal as an actual live pitching in a real at-bat, but does it matter that it would be righty-righty when he's never seen a right-handed pitcher from the right-handed batter's box?
Well, he's been hitting off of his dad since he was about 6 years old, so he's used to facing right-handed pitching. If it was me, I'm hitting left-handed for my 3 minutes, and then if I get to my bonus round, then I'm going to switch it over to right, so that way I'm fresh for my bonus round. I think that's a good strategy.
I would think that's an advantage, and it seemed to work out pretty well for Adley, when he was in Seattle. So, I think it's a legit advantage, and I don't think it's illegal. So go do it.
Yeah. So you're going to be a homer, and you're going to pick Cal to win the whole thing? I
am, not because I necessarily think so, but I want to root for Cal. So when I'm sitting up, I'm actually going to have to tape it because the kids got practice. But when we get back from practice and we sit down and have a little dinner and watch the Derby, we want to root for Cal. So there you go.
Yeah, I'd love to see Cal and Wood in the championship. I think James Wood is really a up and coming superstar in this league. I think my dark horse though is Caminero. That guy can hit a little bit, and I think he's ready to kind of get that name out there and probably start looking at getting out of Tampa and signing a big contract coming up. But either way, the home run derby is always going to be fun. This summer, level up your game at Portland Baseball Club's summer camps. Every Tuesday and Thursday, join us from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for skill-building sessions in pitching, hitting, fielding, and more. At just $60 per day, you'll get expert coaching and personalized instruction in a fun and competitive environment. Whether you're a seasoned player or just starting out, Portland Baseball Club summer camps are perfect for all skill levels. Spots will fill up fast. Register today at portlandbaseballclub.com. Monday at the All Star game is what they call their workout day. It's home run derby day, and then Tuesday is your game day, right?
Okay.
I think they need to add more games, more competitions to the Monday workout day, and I got some ideas.
You take it away there, Sunshine. Let's see what you got.
Well, you were behind the plate. I think
Yeah.
that the top 8 catchers in the league should participate in a catcher pop time competition to second base.
Okay.
I think you should have a hitter standing in. I think you set up maybe a pitching machine, make sure everything's nice and constant, and I think that you just let these guys see how quick of a pop time they can create.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be fun to watch?
It would be fantastic to watch. Here's the only problem. I'm going to use your argument that you just used on the home run derby right back at you. So do you really think that the team presidents and owners are really going to want their starting dude behind the plate to go and get fully amped up and let it fly to second base when he's not making any money for the team?
I think if it's only like 3 throws, I think if you do like a set of 3 and maybe do like an average of the times or something to that effect, I think that's doable. I think when you take 9 minutes of swings and 120 swings in less than 9 minutes, I think that's a little bit more of a red flag. But I do think is this is a great opportunity for catchers to get a little bit of notoriety, kind of get their face out there a little bit. As you know, they put in a ton of work. They get beat to crap all season. And
they got a mask on, so no one ever gets to see their face.
Yeah, so this would be a great opportunity to go and show off a little bit and get their name and their face out there. I would watch it.
I think a lot of people would too. It's kind of interesting, and because I think what most people don't realize is that even over the course of a long season, and even when guys are still in second base, as long as the pitch is something you can handle relatively routinely, you ain't letting 100% go with your shoulder. It's 90%, because if your technique's right and everything's good, that the difference in time is probably tenths. Not tenths, hundredths of a second difference. So it's more about staying compact, staying smooth, and being what I would call like firm, but not all the way 100%. You're not flailing your arm, flying open, trying to huck it. If you just keep if you keep your routine and your posture correct, you're going to make a good throw. So the reality is that if they do let a couple go, I'd actually be curious to how much quicker it actually is, because I bet you it might be the difference between a 1.7 and maybe a 1.68, 1.67. I really don't think it would be much quicker.
No, it'd be fun to watch. You would just have to find some way to where they can't do like the perfect game cheating, where they just turn completely sideways, straddle home plate, and they're already standing up as they catch the ball. So
they're going to do that anyway in this competition. Unfortunately, that one is going to happen because it's human nature, and even if guys are trying to sit back, when there ain't a bat coming through the hitting zone, you're gonna cheat. Absolutely. I mean, you're gonna open up that right foot. You're gonna stagger your stance at a 45, and that's what you're gonna do because you can't help yourself. It's human nature.
Yeah. So here's another one. Outfield throws. Let's put all the guys out in center field or right field. It's kind of the same as catchers. Everybody gets maybe 2 or 3 throws. I think you set up a target at home, and you see who can hit the target. Maybe it's a throwing velocity and a target practice type of a deal.
Well, you could basically do a pop time, glove to glove, just like you would with a catcher, and then maybe have some sort of penalty system for how if you're within, let's say, 4 feet on the up the base sign of home plate, anywhere in that circle, no deduction. If you're 4 feet outside of that circle, it's, I don't know, a tenth of a second?
No.
Well, something like that.
Set up an 8x8 screen at home plate.
And if you hit the screen, you win.
And if you hit the screen, you get a point. And then I'd set up maybe a 4x4 or a 2x2 screen in the middle, kind of one of those 9 pockets. And if you hit the 9 pocket, hit the smaller square, maybe you get 3 points or something to that. And, same thing with the catchers. Let the outfielders kind of show off a little bit of what they can do, and that might be a fun little competition for the fans. Ready for another one?
Well, hold on a second. I just thought of something.
Okay.
You know who else is going to love this?
Coaches. I'm going to get so much video from this that I can use as teaching. I'm all over it. But who do you got?
Well, I was thinking slightly bigger in monetary value. Can you imagine the money DraftKings is going to make off of these little activities, offering lines on who's going to be the fastest pop time, who's going to be the... Can you imagine the amount of goofy prop bets these guys are going to have on this stuff?
I mean, I did get an email for a home run derby boost on my bet tonight, so they're already doing it.
But now they're going to have 3, 4, 5 extra activities. That's more dough.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to be a sponsor for sure. Them and FanDuel.
All right. What else you got?
Let's see. How about just an exit velocity competition? Not necessarily a home run derby, because some of the hardest hit balls aren't necessarily home runs. But let's get an Ellie De La Cruz, O'Neal Cruz, some of these guys that are hitting balls over 100, 110, Shohei, Judge, Stanton. Let's get out there. Let's give them 10 swings, and let's see who can pop the highest exit velocity. Wouldn't that be fun to watch?
I'd give it a shot. I'm just struggling with the, I think the one thing about exit velo is, for those that are actually in the game and understanding what we're trying to achieve, it's one thing. At the end of the day, when you're appealing to a mass market, people just kind of want to see like the ball go through the hoop, or the baseball leave the yard, or the football go through the uprights or something. So, like I said, I'd give it a shot. Your other two ideas are better.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking of like the hockey All Star game. They always did a slap shot challenge, so velocity challenge with that. And that was always one of my favorite events, because, guys would just get up there and just let it rip. And you're seeing, these 90, 95, 100 mile an hour slap shots. It was always cool. But I got one more, and I think this one is probably the most viable one. And that would be base running. Who doesn't want to see the Trey Turners and Ellie De La Cruz go run the bases? Let's do a home to first or a home to second,
first to
race.
Third with I think you do time trial, but yes, race, whatever. Yes, time trial type deal, but 1,000%. And I think the other thing is, so I just got done watching another 4, 5, 6 baseball games, whatever it was this weekend. They're starting to all run together at this point in the season. And one of the most disappointing things I have seen in junior baseball is the kids' lack of ability across everything I've seen this summer. Is 90+% of kids, even at the 14U level now, which are kids that are getting ready to be freshmen in high school, have no clue how to run the baseball down, run the bases correctly. It's an art form. And I'd like these guys to go out and do it right, and have kids watch them do it right. Because as far as you talk about coaching with other stuff, man, kids don't watch enough baseball anymore. And I'm 1,000% in on that. I think that would be awesome.
No, that'd be fantastic. And you get to see how they take the angles, how they hit the base, lean into the inside, getting around, getting back into a straight line.
And the funny thing is, you might also see a couple of guys do it differently, but they do it their way repetitively, and they've got their reason for, like, one of the biggest, and I don't have the answer either. But okay, so if you hit a double, when you're rounding first base, should you hit the base with your right foot or your left foot, your inside foot to press off, or the right foot to kind of help steer you back to second base?
Does it really matter as long as you hit it in stride and accelerate off the base?
I'm kind of that opinion too, but over the course of 15, basically from the age of 9, 10 through the end of my collegiate career, I probably had 8 different coaches tell me 8 different ways to round first base.
Yeah, but we also had a lot of coaches that told us not to take a jab step or a false step on a steal attempt. And now you're starting to see all the elite base runners taking little false steps, and it's actually quicker in today's game. So, the game changes, technology and video and all this stuff has advanced the game in a lot of different ways, and that being
Well, in the same way that we were having a laugh about it last night, where, I started, and now I only did it with no runners on base, but, I used to put my left knee down and jab step with my right foot, especially if I was looking for that, 4 inches off the plate on the outside corner. And one of my collegiate coaches didn't like me doing it and actually thought it was silly. And here we are 20 years later, and everybody from juniors to the big leagues are doing it. And that's the evolution of the game. And, 20 years has passed and things change. And, yeah, I agree with you. So the game's going to evolve and things will change. But getting back to the base running thing, I would just like to have kids watch the best in the business do their craft. I'm all for that.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's also eliminate the courtesy runners for pitchers and catchers.
Please.
Catchers
need to learn how to run the base. Yeah, and you know what? By the time I was in 14, you had 30 seconds. You had 30 seconds from the time you got into the dugout to the time you were behind home plate to put your gear on. Now, when you get into the collegiate level and stuff, you've got other guys to do this. So you sit in there and you catch your breath for a minute, have a slug of water, and maybe review your notebook on who's coming up in the lineup. But that's a little different. You know how to do it in 30 seconds. You just have other guys to help you. At the junior level, they ain't looking at their lineup card. They ain't going through their tendencies. So yeah, they need to be out there in 30 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. But
that's kind of, in case you didn't notice, that's a little trigger point for me.
Well, it's a trigger point for me, too. I want my pitcher getting warm-up pitches to my catcher, and I want my catcher to get some throws in, so that way he's ready to have a good in-between inning pop time, and everybody's set to go when the first hitter steps in.
Yeah.
Different story for a different day.
Yeah.
But I think these all-star games would be fun. I think you'd have to find a way to do them efficiently. This can't be a 5-hour deal. Maybe you do something like the NFL does and have kind of different settings and things that may be pre-recorded and stuff like that.
Well, you're basically doing a twist on the skills challenge from the NFL. That's what we're talking about. And I think the other thing that maybe you could do is, look, you do this base running skills challenge. Okay. Maybe the, Ellie Dela Cruzes of the world are like, dude, I don't want to do this. I don't care how much money you give me. I've got plenty of money. I don't want to do it. But even if you got once again, you took some rookie guys and you threw a couple $100,000 at them to attend the weekend. I mean, okay. I can't think of a good example on the Mariners, but, there's got to be a good young kid out there that runs the bases well. Go and throw 5 or 6 of those kids out there. I mean, you're going to achieve the same goal, and I'd still watch it. If you're in the big leagues, you're a hell of a ball player. So find the best guys on their rookie contracts, throw them a little money, and you know what? Maybe reach out to one of the big names and go, hey, does anyone want to do this year? And one of them might go, yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, and the other cool part is you could do it in between rounds of the home run derby. In between the first and second round, you do the base running. In between the second and third round, you do the catcher pop times. It kind of keeps it broken up. It gives the home run derby hitters, which is still going to be the marquee event, just gives them a little bit of time to recover and get ready for that next round, keeps the fans engaged, gives you something to watch on TV. I think it's a great idea. I'd love to see MLB implement it because it would just continue to expand the reach of the game. Enjoyed Lineups and Lures? Like, share, and rate the show to help us grow. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Thanks for listening, and catch you next time on Lineups and Lures.